We are back with another Age of Mythology retold casted game from the point of views of the players. So today we are watching Recon play Kavoth. So the reason I wanted to watch this, they're just playing on the ladder right now, and I haven't changed my scroll speed, so I'm just going to do it nice and slow with them with the keys. But they are playing currently on their streams, and I really want to learn how to play Frey. I played him a bit when I was streaming, and I feel like I didn't make the most of his advantages. So I want to see what Recon does. So it looks like he hasn't what has he got early on? He hasn't got any upgrades early. So I felt like you could get an really early pickaxe, which is what I did. But if Recon doesn't do it, it's probably not going to be the best play. So he's just going around. This is on the map Alfheim, I believe. Yeah, it's Alfheim. And he's spotted an oracle nice and early, which is just great to get rid of as and when you can. He's already put down the house. So the Elfsark or the Berserk isn't needed for a while, apart from for scouting. So he can whack that as much as he wants. But he's more doing it just to make sure he gets the cows in and get those home. Alfheim can have a decent amount of cows. That's a good option to do. So it looks like he's just doing the kind of default Norse build in a sense, but instead he hasn't got an ox cart to move onto the wood line. He's just deciding to go for these little trees that are around the outside. And he's getting the standard amount of dwarfs. You just get a dwarf whenever you can afford one, basically. But it doesn't look like he's got any upgrades. So I wonder when he prioritizes those. I guess he just wants to get an earlier advance time instead, but we'll have to see. Relic, the funky turkey relic, because we're still on that patch. The Thunderclad Shawl is Pierce Armor upgrade, which is good against those Terma that will probably be coming out. And Unk of Ra, which is Favored Trickle. So it looks like he's having a little scout around. And we'll stick to the 3 dwarfs. So it is just the standard Norse opener, without getting any extra upgrades. So this guy will now come back, build us a temple when it gets to 150. So timed pretty well there, and he'll be able to get whatever advanced time he wants, basically. So temple already put down. He's on this side. I've had a comment to say always have them on the left, so that is what I'm doing. That's what I like to do as well. If we're doing the point of view, we want them on the left side, just so we know. So it looks like he's pre-queued pickaxe now. So he prioritizes getting the earlier temple up and not getting an ox cart out. Okay, this is what I'm going to try for my next game. I'm going to play it exactly like Recon plays it. And for anyone that doesn't know these players, they're both currently... When I checked yesterday, they both had accounts in the top 5. 2 accounts in the top 5, which is pretty ridiculous. They're 2 of the best players that play the ladder. So temple up. Going to advance straight after this dwarf, so we're going for a 4:15 advance time. Going through Ula, the more defensive of the 2 gods. You can go through Freyr if you want to be aggressive and do stuff with like the Valkyrie and that sort of situation. But it looks like he's still not getting an ox cart. Maybe he's going to get one now. Yeah, just going to do it afterwards to make sure that he gets the food in to get the pickaxe, first of all. So he's basically doing this to get an earlier advance time. I think when I did it where I got pickaxe really early, I think my advance time was like 4:30. And 4:15 is just a bit nicer if you want to get, if they're going to put early pressure on, or you can drop your buildings down a little bit earlier, so I think it's just good. It looks like he's going for that favor trickle, which is great for the Norse, because Norse can't really, excuse me, they can't really choose when they get a favor, which is an annoying part of playing Norse. You technically can from the amount of heroes you have out, but you don't always want loads of heroes out. Especially against Gaia, because they're probably, unless they go for the automatons, but they're more than likely going to go for those Caladria, and then Hersa don't really do anything against those. But you still want to build some early ones out, because you have the temple already there, so why not? Longhouse going down, Draugr going to be out, and then is he going to go forward onto some forward hunt? Yeah, that's another thing that you can do if you go earlier in the advances. You can go out to forward hunt because you know that you can get some things to defend them. Some early walls coming up here, or some cheeky walls, as I like to call them, where they're small walls that can give a lot of value. Rather than doing that extra wall here or back here, you get a nice couple of gates down. It's a bit wider than it sometimes is. So there are sometimes where this spawns where you can get like tiny little walls that you can put down. Caladria coming to search. Asgardian Hillfort going down nice and early, as not too much the Gaia player can really do about this. They might have some units out, some Terma, some Mamillo out, but nothing crazy, and Recon will have more than enough to defend against it. The Caladria is in. Draugr can hit it if it's moving away, but not if it's moving side to side. That's kind of how the micro works. You have to like move it side to side, and Apologies for the speed. I'm actually just going to slow that down because that's going to it's going to annoy me otherwise. Oop. There we go. 1%. Here we go. Cheeky Oracle's seen it, and there's a hero Mamillo as well trying to deal with those myth units. He's just going to go straight on the myth unit. Caladria coming down. How long has he got on this? 48 seconds when something's on it, but the Hearses are in. Hearses can deal with this Carnivora, which is obviously why he wants them out as well. Draugr has to run all the way back there, but there is a throwing axeman on it. The Draugr should survive. Got a bit of action on both sides here. Quite a few heroes out already, which is really interesting to see, especially because Norse can't get that many myth units early. But the Asgardian Hill Fort is 15 seconds left. It should go up. Has to villager fight, which isn't ideal, but he really wants his hill fort up because then this place is proper defended and he just has to sacrifice the unit time to actually build it. And one thing about these Termers is they don't really do that much damage to the Gatherers, to be honest. And there we go, Asgardian Hill Fort up. And because he is Frey, he can repair this for free. So if he just puts some villagers on it, you can repair that for free. And that is exactly what he decides to do. Only got one on it, but he's also got a unit back here. And that is something that the Frey players, they don't really know. I mean, they do know, but they don't utilize very often because it isn't something that the other Norse civilizations can do. And the Gatherers on the hill fort, I'm repairing it for free. It doesn't cost any gold to repair like it does for other buildings, so it's nice to see. And he should be able to defend this nicely and then move on to these berry bushes as well. Getting up more longhouses. So what have we got in terms of buildings? We've got 2 longhouses, 1 great hall, a temple, and a hill fort. Is he going to build Huskarls out? I'm not sure whether Huskarls are really needed. I mean, Huskarls won't be very good against the Mamillo, but then neither will the raiding cavalry. But raiders are going to be better against the Terma just because the Terma are so fast. Thing about Atlanteans is they can mass things up pretty quickly. Looks like nice micro there to make sure that one gatherer didn't go down. They're actually very, very low. Yeah, he wants to, rather than finish off this one, actually that one was finished, but he wants to be near a defensive building that he can just hop in. All these are so low. It's unfortunate that he doesn't have any healer. Didn't go through Freyr. Well, no, it's sort of in a different situation anyway, but doesn't have a Valkyrie to heal these guys up, so has to play quite safe with them. But still has one guy just healing this up. Needs to jump in. Nice micro, of course. These top players are always going to jump into situations like that and then just go back to healing it up again. Making sure that the army's not out of position. Now needs to defend this hunt source instead. So what is he doing with his base? This is something that I want to see, is how many dwarves does he have? So he has 7 dwarves here, and then he actually has two extra dwarves here, and then what do we have? 2 extra dwarves here. So that is something about Frey, is you seem to have more gold income, or Norse in general, because you have all the dwarves. And then if you don't build any dwarves, then you suddenly don't have enough gold, and you don't have enough gold to build any more dwarves. So a great way to go around this is to put them on wood, put them on food, and then when you need them, just pull them over to the gold mine. That's a great option. Kavoth's army's looking pretty scary now. We do have a second Draugr out, which will do some really good pierce damage. But this Asgardian Hill Fort, I mean, it's just been sacked. It did its job. It was here for the hunt. Unfortunately, didn't get to use it for these pumpkins, the berries either. But well. But we now have 3. We now have 3 Draugrs out, and this fight, these Draugrs will do some serious damage if they're not touched. How many heroes does Kavoth have? So it looks like he's just got 1. So if the throwing axeman can snipe down the hero, then these Draugr is going to have a field day. Caladria also can do some micro to make these Draugrs have a bad day. But you can see these shots are just going through every single unit here. So if the units are ever clumped, the Draugrs do so much damage. The Terma are focusing the raiding cavalry, which is perfect for recon. Termas want to focus the throwing axeman because they do so much more bonus damage against them. And the Caladria are doing a bit of cheeky micro here to get out the way. And it looks like this fight is actually going for recon. It looks like Kavoth has more numbers, but these Draugrs are just do so much damage. Hero Terma here. Unfortunately, recon not paying attention to that one, but then notices for this second one. So unfortunately loses one there, but the Hero Terma should go down to that raiding cavalry if it can get snared enough. These Berserks can turn and hit this. Actually, they're really low HP. You just got to get out of there. Berserks are a great option against the classical army of Atlanteans because they don't have any counters, apart from Cairo Ballista, but I mean, they're not really going to come in and attack. They're more of a defensive unit because they're so slow and kind of glass cannon. So it looks like there's some nice pumpkins here. Little wall here would go a long way, but It's still, if if the enemy Gaia player was to come and attack this, you could just do some kind of thing where you bring some units this way, some units the other way, and do a bit of a surround, so it's quite hard for them to attack. Caladrias healed each other. That's kind of what happens. You've got to make sure you actually take them out, which is tough. Actually uses the special manually there, you saw, because he didn't use the special on the Caladria to waste it, which is probably what Kavoth was hoping for, and then uses them on these Hero Terma. Really nice micro to make sure that the Draugrs are back. Revenant Draugr has that divine damage on his special, which is why they do so good against those hero units, even though they are doing a negative against heroes, but the divine damage... I don't actually know how that works, whether the divine damage is 0 times 0.5 or whether it's just straight up divine damage. If anyone knows, let me know. I don't know how divine damage works like that, whether it gets the multipliers or not. We've got a big army here, but there's a lot of low HP units. It's really unfortunate. Big army coming through here. The wall goes down. The gold miners are going to have to run back. There's two ways to go. You could run all the way through here, but then you're just susceptible for things coming back. Or you just run all the way around. There's nothing he can really do against that. But it looks like these Terma are a little bit caught out. And yeah, the dwarves run away nicely, especially as the army are coming back. Don't want to put them in too quickly, as they could go down to some of these Termas. Once you get enough Termas, they can basically one-shot a dwarf. I don't know how many that is. I'd imagine it's around the 10 mark or so. Maybe need to do some testing on that. But especially with this many, how many does he have there? 12. That would absolutely one-shot a dwarf, so you've got to watch out for that. Nice army positioning, though, to defend it, especially with those Draugrs again. Just pierce through everything. Just did about 30% HP to everything. And these Mamillo are going to just go down so quick. And then once those are down, the Raiders are going to have a field day against all the Terma that are left. Persis in as well, just to get some more units actually out in the army. And really nicely pushed back. Caladria going down as well, so something that Kavoth would have liked to micro, but unfortunately missed out on those. And then it's just going to be a pure Berserks and Draugr to come back. So what have we got here? We've got Stone Wall coming in. The walls are going to go down, and they're so good against the Terma. They take ages to take down the wall. Even the Mamillo, there's not very many of them. Loads of heroes being made. Draugrs have got to be careful. And then we're just seeing how good these archers are now. The Myth unit archers. We've seen that the Wadgets are now being prioritized, and Draugrs and Trolls, it seems like, are being prioritized too. A Caladria right in the middle. Hersers are there to deal with it, 5 of them. And the Draugrs are going to fall very quickly to these heroes, but they do a decent amount of damage out. Maybe we've pushed out a little bit too much here, but it looks like it's going to be a pretty even trade, to be honest. It looks like, yeah, Recon's got so many low HP units there that are actually getting quite decent value, but this is the defender's advantage for Kavoth. His buildings are probably going to be around here somewhere, so we've got to run back. But it looks like it's a pretty even game so far. The Draugrs are coming out. Raiden Cavalry. Surprised to not see medium raiders, especially he's got the resources. Medium raiders for Frey is really cheap. We can't see it, but it's going to be 100 food, 50 gold, because everything is 50% off. But it takes a lot longer to get in. So look, he's got loads of villagers on this gold mine now. Is he thinking about going up to the next stage, or just purely staying here? It looks like he's just purely wanting to mass up his army in the classical age. Great idea to go for the settlement. This is something when I was streaming and Soup told me I should have got a settlement if it's protecting my gold mine, because you have Golem Bursty, and it would have won me one of my games if I would have realized that. But forward settlements, or settlements that defending resources for Frey, are even better than any other civilization. Maybe similar to Hades, I guess. Maybe similar to Hades, where he can put down his archers to defend. And then just like this, Frey can put down his Golem Bursty in this circle here. And it does a lot of damage when it lands. It's almost like a meteor strike when it lands, which is just the one meteor. Making the most of these wolves too. Have 125 food. Might as well. Market coming down. Now he's looking to go up to the next stage. Market to potentially buy some food if he wants to get up a little bit sooner. Farming upgrade coming in because he realizes he is running out of the food. That's why he's on these suboptimal hunt, I guess you would call it, but it's still something. Wood line is here, kind of caught out. Notices it just in time, but is going to lose a few to these Mamillo with their poison damage. Unfortunately, it doesn't have much vision here. Could have a wall here. I mean, it's probably not going to do much. It would cost a lot to wall up this area, but probably should have moved over to the backwood line. It's something that I never think about, but it would make sense to just bring them over here because this is so exposed. It looks like it's just sitting back, getting Servants of Glory, Herdman, Throwing Axeman, Berserk's movement speed plus 5%, which is pretty nice to catch up to those fast units. A-Gear coming in, A-Gear very strong god power, that Tempest god power, and obviously the rock giants that are ridiculously strong, especially against someone like Gaia that doesn't really have access to easy heroes. Very similar to the whole of Gaia's lifespan. Probably easier to get heroes now than it was back in the old game, but still it's a bit tough. Some walls to slow everything down. There's a really nice cliff here, but unfortunately his army is on the other side. It's going to have to swing it round, but it's got plenty of time. Because, I mean, so this is why the stone wall upgrade is so good. This would have been down, and then he wouldn't have had a chance to put this wall up to get his army back in position. And those Draugrs, although they're strong, 3.8 speed, just ridiculously slow. How many does he have? 5. The pierce damage of these are going to be ridiculous, especially if it goes up to the hero, or when it gets to the heroic age, they're going to do some serious damage. Decent amount of heroes in, though. Don't want to use those Draugr special too early, and that was absolutely perfect. Look, half HP on most of those Mamillo. Just needs to fan out and make sure that the Draugrs are not touched. But again, decent amount of Terma heroes in here. Draugr just needs to put in work and pierce through everything. They're going to get another special up in a few seconds, and there's only Terma left, really. And the Terma don't do anything against a Draugr. They'll get pierced. Oh, Stymphalian birds up there. Unfortunately, the Draugr special went up there, which wasn't ideal, but still going to easily win this fight. Turn that around. Those are really low HP Stymphalian birds. And out comes the rock giant. He's basically just spending all his favor on these Draugr. Now this is the power of the Frey. This is, as soon as you get up to the heroic age, heavy infantry, survival equipment, irrigation, pre-queuing bowsaw, and shaft mine, because they are such good upgrades that are just ridiculously cheap. Looks like Kavoth's pushing in again. Draugr still here, hiding behind the wall. We saw this actually in one of the most recent tournaments, which Boit, Metaplays, and Yodesla and AoL Iron Maiden are doing, blanking on the name. Wrath of the Gods, that's it. We saw one of the players use Draugrs hiding behind a wall, and it was very, very strong. I think it was Cluminati that was doing that, and it was a very, very strong play. And it really turns a fight when it looks like the player shouldn't win, but these Draugrs are so strong. Not sure what the answer to them is. Probably now, it's probably going to be Hero Arcus. Is probably going to be the answer. Because the Draugr, how much? Oh, they do have 19 range, which is actually pretty good. But the Arcus do have 20 range, so should be absolutely fine. But the positioning of someone like Recon is just too good. Unfortunately, the pierce damage went the wrong way, but Tempest in. The Tempest Golem Bursty combo is so strong. It slows them down. Even though this guy is extremely slow, the slowed units, it just takes them out so quick. He's also a hero, so something like this Draugr will go down pretty quickly. And this gives him time to do whatever he wants. Stymphalian birds hanging around. I think Kavoth just accidentally left those behind. And what are we queuing out? Getting some Godi out to deal with those Dryads, getting some Throwing Axemen out. Basically a pure wood-based army. Maybe looking to go to the Mythic Age or get some of those food-based upgrades instead. And just get a load of wood-based units out. Could also go for the Huskarls, get even more wood-based units, but his Asgardian Bastion did go down earlier. Forward settlement coming down. He's seen that this settlement isn't claimed, but this will be another nice one. Unfortunately, the Golem Bursty is used, and you don't really want to use a second one. 300 favor is just a ridiculous amount. I mean, how many Draugrs could you get for that? How much? 14 favor for a Draugr. He gets a ridiculous amount of Draugrs for that. Taunt into Draugr pierce damage. Gotta love that. Although there isn't that many units actually for Recon here. It's basically just the myth units. But he has got the defender's advantage with the long houses here. If the Ulfsarks can get back on the back term, I need to call them Berserks. I just call them Ulfsarks, but the Godi here obviously for the Stymphalian birds as well. Probably shouldn't push out too much because because the enemy Gaia player can just get so many units out so quick, because she'll have a decent amount of buildings down. Dryads, she'll have 2 of those down, 2 Dryad trees, and she can just mass up units so quick, whereas the Norse player probably won't. He's got 7 longhouses, so actually not too bad. But normally Norse players struggle to get those buildings down because they're just constantly fighting. But Recon's done a pretty good job here. Still got four Draugrs, one still coming in, so we've got 3 Draugrs in the fight, one coming in. It's just the power of the Draugr here just managing to hold. Just a unit which makes the defensive Frey god so good. And it looks like he is going through Vidar, or Vidar, I'm not sure how to say that one. But this is the god with the Fenrir flame attack that can do decent damage to units and buildings. And also getting that ballistics, which will help his Draugrs out as well. Third settlement up. What he probably wants to do now is just mass up, get to 205 population, or actually up to full population with his fortified town centers in. Just mass up units, which is what he's doing now. Just getting all his berserks out. So it looks like he's going for berserks, throwing axeman Godi. Does he have any upgrades for the berserks? Just this Servants of Glory one we saw earlier. Kavoth is being relentless with these attacks, but he doesn't come out favorably on them. I'm not sure if he should just sit back and wait, but that's why he's doing it for the implode. Implode is just ridiculous, and all of these guys are going to go down. And the only way to play around it is to know it's coming and split your army. But the Draugrs will survive, which is nice. Town center doesn't go down, but now we're at 105 units to 37. So he's just got to run back, wait for his Vidar, and hopefully he can get some decent damage done. But it won't be anywhere as much as that implode. Implode, even after the nerf, is a disgusting god power. It is ridiculous. Units up here getting the nice gold mine. Shouldn't be seen there, especially because Kavoth's going to assume that he's on this gold mine, because he is. Just not with that many units. Pierce damage still coming through from these Draugr. How much is on the Vidar we can't actually see, but it's a very almost going to be in. I assume he'll use it on this big bulk of units. It is quite slow, so it's quite easy to dodge. Not fully, but you can dodge the majority of it. I think he's just going to use it straight away here, just to get a decent amount of damage done. Fafnir in. Fafnir, very strong unit, but you don't really want to build it because it gives 300 gold over to the opponent. Just not ideal. But actually, what Kavoth has done is he's split his army up so that he's not going to get hit by this Inferno god power. But that does mean that the Fafnir is going to absolutely clean up. So he's after this gold mine. There's only 500 gold left in it, so I think it'll be absolutely fine for Recon to just run away whenever he wants to. Trying to get his settlement back. Looks like there's a lot of archers here, so this is going to take a long time to get these stone walls down. More than enough time for these gatherers to run away. Probably just needs 1 Godi to come down here. And he'll be absolutely fine. How many Godis? He's got 7 Godis. Lots of Draugrs still. And then again, as soon as you get to the Mythic Age, all the upgrades come through. This is the Frey way. I'm still not sure what to think about Fafnir, to be honest. Like, it's ridiculously strong. I mean, you see all these stats, but giving away 300 gold when it costs 300 gold itself, 35 favor. Like, it costs a lot to then give the 300 gold over. All the units coming up here. More longhouses coming down. Something you always want to do as Norse, so he looks like he's lost one as well. Godis are going to turn on that Stymphalian bird as soon as it arrives. Actually, it's just the Draugrs on there. Going to absolutely shred that guy. Stymphalian bird is no more. Who said that Norse couldn't deal with flying units? I'm unfortunately going to be caught on this gold mine now from Champion Mamillo. They are ridiculously strong. What's the upgrades situation? She's got some bronze upgrades. Looks like, yep, Recon's got some bronze upgrades too. So it is pretty even, especially as we've got Champion Berserks coming through now. Champion Berserks, very, very strong. Vidar does give something for these Berserks. So Berserks, on death, spawns 1 invisible Berserk damage booster. Basically just does more damage when it dies. That's it. Yeah, increases the damage of everyone else when it dies. These guys coming up to build markets, just getting 3 markets up because he knows that his gold mines are not going to last, even though he's got so much. Look at the resources. 1,000 of everything. just needs to spam up buildings, spam upgrades, and just make sure he gets everything in. And he'll win by, like, not losing now, basically. That's it. The longhouses are up. The markets with... I mean, that's a lot of goldie to go build those markets, but the issue with Norse, if you want those up quick, you've got to send a lot of units over there. Still going for those berserks, even though there's a lot of Arcus. Not sure what the best comp is. I mean, with the upgrade, these berserks are going to be very, very strong. It's also getting the 10% bonus HP for everything with the Twilight of the Gods. Look at these Arcus, though. Do so much damage. Survival equipment is in, so it's not too bad for these. And the Fafnir is going to go down 300 gold over to the Gaia. You hate to see it. So what are we spending the favor on? The favor is being spent on basically every upgrade under the sun, rather than getting any more Draugrs. Love the Draugr spam. He did try and get a little cheeky side build, but unfortunately, oh, Arcus in. Arcus are going to do very well against these guys. They don't do much damage unless it's against heroes, really. It's because they attack so slowly. It looks like they do a lot of damage, but they attack so slow. But actually, there isn't many Arcus left, so should be able to clear these up pretty nicely. Pushing the units back, we can now see a bit more of Kavoth space, actually. Lots of trees, as you'd expect. Rock Giant coming in, wants to come and tank these. Actually going for the Raiders against, because there's just so many Arcus here. Even though there is the Mamillo that soft counter the Raiders, there's just so many Arcus in that Raiders are going to be very, very strong here. Also building double Ox Caravans to just, as soon as that gold runs out, he'll be absolutely fine there. We're watching two players here that like to go and play like the fundamental ways, rather than go for any cheese strategies early on or any cheeky timing attacks. Just going for pure outplays on your opponent, which is the way that I'd like to learn, which I'm trying to learn now. Or maybe you could say that Draug is a cheese. Someone's going to moan. Attacking both places now, so he's going after this gold mine, which is nice. You would assume that the enemy Gaia player is also going to be out of gold mines, so if you can stop one gold mine here, even the Gatherer coming in, then that'll be nice to slow him down. I mean, I don't think he's expecting the Gaia to also have 3k gold sat in the bank, and he's just getting rid of the gold because he knows that he just needs it in ASAP, because if he's ever pushed off of this, he'll have it in the bank to spend and it'll be absolutely fine. Then once that's in, what you can probably do is convert all of these into berserks and just send them all forwards. Look at these guys, the rock giants. Oh, here we go, the big Fenrir, and this is what I mean. He's a bit slow, so he's not going to get the full damage. Gets a decent amount, but it's just nowhere near as good as the implode, unfortunately. But attacking two sides at once, always nice to see. Hill fort on, also soaking up the gold mine of the enemy player. He does not need it, but why not? Watchtowers being spammed up. Who says watchtowers are bad? Recon says, no, I like watchtowers, gonna whack them all up. I mean, they're like a hill fort that don't cost any favor, so pretty good. And we got 8 Bolly Bollerson. There he is. The best name of any Hersa that I could find. Bolly Bollerson. Watchtowers going up. The issue is you've got to spend so much of your army to actually do it. So now Recon needs to find a way to slowly push the advantage that he has of having a ridiculous economy. And he is just deciding to rinse this gold mine. But after that, I think that's when the advantage will come, because he'll have the economy that just won't run out, and then he'll have extra units, because these will all become berserks. I'm sure of it. Throwing Axeman will wreck the Fire Siphon. Only 5% hack damage. It doesn't matter what hack damage you have, that guy is going down at some point. Military barracks coming down. Right in the middle for Kavoth. Oh, unlucky. I'd expect him to build some of these economic guilds around, which he has done forward, to kind of spread that lush around. It's only eco buildings that spread the lush now, not everything. So I'm not sure, not sure why that military barracks was forwards. But some raids coming in for the gold mine, but he doesn't need the gold. He's just trying to get rid of it. But watchtowers will clear everything up. They do 10.4 damage a second. That's pretty good. Unfortunately, Norse don't have anything more than watchtowers. They can't get guard towers or anything like that. What else are we seeing? Feasts of Renown. What's this? Is this the healing one? Yes, this is the healing on hill forts and town centers. Oh, and village centers too. I didn't actually know about village centers, but yeah, everything heals. It's like a very weak healing spring, basically. It's is it expensive? 18 favor. I guess 18 favor is a myth unit, so it's quite expensive to actually get. I'm finding it very hard to push, actually. I assume he's got all his upgrades in now. Yeah, yeah, champion infantry. He's got all his upgrades in now. Maybe getting out some ballista. Maybe can do well against the bull. The only thing is if any Kantarias come snipe them would be the issue. But they would be pretty good for doing a decent amount of damage. The issue is he needs the heroes to deal with the Dryad spam, and it wouldn't surprise me if the Gaia player puts down another Hesprid's tree to get 5 more Dryads. It's something that's very good to do in a late game situation, because Dryads don't cost any population, so there's no reason not to do it, rather than spending it on anything else. It looks like we're going for a Secrets of the Titans, though. It's another solid option, and that's it, and Recon gets the win. I guess Kavoth saw that Secret of the Titans and he's like, there's no way that I can hold a Titan. And just really, really, really well played. I mean, he got pushed back so many times, but using the terrain to his advantage here, and these walls, stone walls, I've been saying it for ages. Stone walls are the way. They pay for themselves, and Recon played this really well. And oh yeah, we'll have a look at the post game actually, especially from long games. I want to see the post game. Military resource value. So it just looked like the resource value was with Kavoth, just probably because of those Dryads. But Recon was more playing the long game, just making sure that he could get those gold mines out of the way, and then he could match this with some Berserks changing over. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one.